sun is out, stream is working, audio as well, hopefully. Okay, alright folks, how are you all doing today? Let's try a thing. Are we good? How are we doing? This is my second attempt at a live stream today. We had some technical issues earlier, but we tried something that is tried and true, and we seem to be good now. So welcome to the live streaming here from Auckland. Hopefully you are all doing well. From a little preview here, looks like our video and our audio is okay. So that's good. If you were here for that earlier stream, what happened before that was I was trying to live stream with MIDDLEMAN. I've got the Action 4 as my main streaming camera for today. Had that tapped into the MIDDLEMAN app on iPhone, and through some magic it's supposed to be able to broadcast the Action 4, which is RTMP, into the MIDDLEMAN app, and then from the MIDDLEMAN app they would go from there using H.265 and SRT. Much better for... Ooh, what's going on over there? Just some people having some fun, I think. Yeah, so from the MIDDLEMAN app, H.265 and SRT, a little more efficient for streaming, but for whatever reason, I don't know, not sure, but my phone, maybe it's too old, iPhone 11, it just plays up. Yeah, it's really unpredictable when I try to live stream through the Action 4 into MIDDLEMAN and then back to my computer at home. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to take some more tweaking and refining. I've had to go back to the RTMP endpoint I was using for the last couple of these streams, and that's through a service called IRL hosting. So it goes from the Action 4 into the Mimo app, then RTMP back to my computer at home. I had to switch from one thing back to the other, and this is the way it works. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with this. Yeah, for my last stream, we did the Cat Cafe stream, and I thought, oh, should I try doing the MIDDLEMAN thing today? Nah, let's not risk it, because there was a sort of it cost $40 to go to that. A lot of fun, enjoyed it. But I thought, oh, maybe I'll play up or do something like what happened earlier. But thankfully, we seem to be okay. I believe we had someone in the first chat. I believe it was Space Pirate. So, hi. I'm glad you could tune in for the stream, and I think there was a bit of a joke there too, so good one, nice. So thank you for being first in chat, and thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to this little bit of rant. Fernando, how's it going? How have you been? Hopefully you've been good. Yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this very sunny day here in Auckland. The weather has just been pretty toasty. I've actually gotten sunburn. I don't know if you can tell from my skin, but I think the other day, Thursday last week, which was before the zoo stream, I wasn't out in the sun all day long, I don't think so. But later that night, I got this huge rash, and then that turned into some sunburn, scars and all sorts. But yeah, you got to be careful out there with this weather. Make sure you've got the sun lotion on and all that stuff. Protect yourself, folks. Well, that's if you're on this side of the world, where the sun can be a bit brutal on the skin. Now, I've never had like sunburn, I don't think so. Not really, not before. But there's something about this particular day. Wow. Alright, let's see, some updates. Please check out my Instagram. I've uploaded 2 posts, and that involves photos from the zoo stream that we did 2 weeks ago. And then I also uploaded the photos from the cat cafe, which was last week. So yeah, have a look at those. Hey brother, DJ Reminisce, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're good. I think you've been under the weather a little, so yeah, hopefully you get well soon. Yeah, we're just starting off the stream here from Auckland Viaduct. Lovely day. I'm not sure if I want to move from this spot, but the shade is quite nice. I'm not sure how the light looks. How does it look? Just check it. Now talk about the best smart gimbal of 2025. I've been using gimbals for a good 6 months to a year in my live streams. I found it's just been a lot better for my content when I'm just walking around and stuff. You got the flu? What's our setup today? I'll take a photo, right? So let's take one with the iPhone, which I've got here. It is a one phone setup today, so that's one thing I like about what I'm using. Okay, guys, gonna smile. Very important that you smile, because this won't work if you don't. Okay. Let's see. I need to set the folder, then I'm going to share the photo to, and then do the thing, and then the other thing. That's all very important as well. Let's get the Auckland Sky Tower in the background. That is critical. Okay, I think we're looking good. Teeth. I did a cheesy one with the teeth. Okay, beautiful folks. Okay, all right. Give that a couple of seconds for that to hopefully pop up. I'll just go over what I'm looking at. So we've got the DJi Action 4. That's our main camera for today. I've set the, what do they call it? The stabilization to horizon balancing. Whereas I've used, let's see, Rocksteady. I think I've used Rocksteady Plus. And then there's another mode, horizon leveling, I think. That one added quite a bit of a crop, whereas there's a little bit of a crop on this one. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll probably play around with these different stabilization modes. So we've got that part of stabilization, which is electronic. We've also got the gimbal, which has its own stabilization. I've got the camera in a adapter of sorts that fits into my phone gimbal. So that was quite cheap. It was only about $10, $20, something like that. And I think good old Temu has some for even cheaper. Maybe Alibaba, AliExpress, you know, the usual places. What I'd like though is for someone to come out with a adapter that has a battery in it. So let me take another photo. So let's spin you around to check out the view, and then I'll take a photo of the adapter, try and get me in there as well, and do a peace sign. New photo coming your way. Okay. All right. So in the second photo, you'll see the adapter, and basically it's like a GoPro thing. There's a weight at the other end, and that just fits into your phone holder gimbal thing. And the name of it was for a DJi gimbal, which we will be talking about. But it fit into this one. And what I like about this gimbal that I'm using today, the Hohem iSteady V3, is, well, it gives me a lot of features that the older version of the DJi Osmo Mobile 6 doesn't have, which they have actually added into the new one. So, for example, the gimbal there it has, let's see, it's got an AI face tracking, it's got an extension rod, there is the feet, it's an internal feet that the gimbal has, so you don't need extra feet, but I've co-opted some feet from something else. And these feet are a little bit wider than the other ones I was using, so it's made my gimbal a bit more stable on a table like it is now. That other thing, it also happens to be Hohem, so we've got all the branding matching up. So let's see, audio is the DJi Mic Mini. We're using the DJi Osmo audio technology, so you don't need to plug a receiver into the side of the action cam. My microphone is just under here, and I'm using the necklace, magnetic necklace from the Holiday Inn Larkin 2. So I'm using little bits and pieces of this and that. Because usually you'd be able to see one side of the magnet on my top over here. Whereas, I pull this out, kind of see how I've clipped the DJi Mic Mini onto the magnet of the Holiday Inn Larkin 2 necklace thingy. I'll probably try and find something else that's a little bit better suited for it, but this is kind of like my workaround for now. So it's made our microphone a little more stealthy, a little more discreet. Let's see, what else have we got here? Gimbal, audio, camera. We've got the Samsung S23 Ultra. That is what's handling the chat that I'm reading. I could hear the chat as well. It's also handling the stream. The Samsung is a 5G phone with all the latest stuff in it. That's why the connection, I think, through that is a lot better than what it would be through the old iPhone 11. Sad, very sad. So it's a bit of a shame that I can't get Moblin to work with Action 4. And my theory or my thoughts is that this phone is just too old. Everyone who I've seen it, I think, demonstrating Moblin with an action camera, and they're usually using a Pro Max phone. So whether it's like an older model, the 12, 13, 14, etc., and not this sort of base model like this one. So this can do a lot, but doesn't look like it can do the Action 4 Moblin combo. And I've gone through various little tutorials. Our friend Mitman4D, he helped me out. He actually went through the steps of getting his one to connect. One thing I noticed when I tried to do that is this phone would get really warm, and that's unusual for me because I've streamed using all sorts of apps and stuff, and this has never really gotten hot. But it did, definitely, with that sort of setup. Moblin plus trying to handle the connection to the Action 4. It got a bit toasty. Okay, so I've got like a little phone holder thing down the bottom as well, which I've kind of co-opted from various other little bits and pieces. I'll take a photo of that too. So I'll need to spin you guys around again. So this is for my records too. So I can look back on what I was using in February of this year and go, oh, that's what I was using. Maybe I'll go back to that. And I try to have all the settings of what I use. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay. No, not that way. This way perhaps. Alright, cool. Let's see. Okay, alright, 1 second folks, 1 second. So I can't see the chat from this side. So this is from the other side. I've got one new photo, and then I'll take a close-up of the little phone holder bit at the bottom. We'll do that as a portrait style photo. So that one looks like that was successfully uploaded. Have a quick look at the chat. Hot off the press. Okay, that's a good sign. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering why aren't I using the OM6 today? Well, I do have it. It's in my pocket. Let's see. I wanted to show you and go through the OM6 versus the specs of the 7P and also the Hohem iSteady V3. So a lot of product names there. So I don't think any of this is new. Yeah, I've had all of it for a while, and it's just bits and pieces. So I said, oh, I used that for this thing. Let's just put this onto here. Let's grab this other thing and use it for this. So yeah, it kind of works at the moment, and the weight isn't too bad either. All right, let's spin you around again. All right, we good? I'll be good. We'll go for a walk soon. I'm sure a few of you are probably curious about this camera and how it performs for live streaming. Let's have a quick look at the preview. Right, so do you see the little phone holder bit there? So there's one part which is the phone holder that you can get from, well, almost any sort of phone holder tripod combination, and that phone holder has like the 1/4 inch screw mount in the bottom and at the back, and then I'm currently using the one at the back so that I can position the phone vertically. And then we've got a quick release mount which I've used a couple of times. It's so quick, guys, so quick. So do you see that? See the back? So I can just either, if I need this phone to put it on something else, I could do that. Or, you know, I could just so quickly pop it back onto the, so quickly. It's just so seamless and so fast. All right, yeah. But the thing I like about that quick release is that it can tilt up and down and also spin 360, whereas most hook releases, they don't really do that. They're either really loose, they might have a ball mount where you can just sort of position it any position, but I actually want just that verticality of it going up and down. So maybe we'll try and do a dual cam thing. Well, this week, let's find out. So I'm going to go back to good old mobile again. And let's see, I mentioned earlier, new Instagram posts, check out both of those, zoo photos and also Cat Cafe. Also new YouTube video. It was for members only for a while, but now it's public to everybody. It's been like a week or something. Okay. That camera. So check all those out. Please leave like, comments, you know the deal, share, all that good stuff. Thank you guys, all that is really appreciated. Alright, so I want to switch to the second cam and let's try this out. So going live. Switch to cam 1+2. Our audio should still be coming from the action camera. Alright, let's have a look at our preview. So pause the game. Wait for the things to go away. Right, great. And I'll show you what I mean by the tilt action. So it just can go vertically like this, up and down, without having to worry about it sort of going like this way. It's just up and down, that's all I want. And maybe just spin it like that way a little bit. We'll spin you guys right around. Saying that quite a lot. So you can see a bit hard from this angle. It's from a company called PGY Tech, not sponsored. Yeah, easy motion this way, and then so you can keep turning it, rotating it. Either kind of need two hands for this, but so if you need to just sort of move it a little bit this way or that way, and this way or that way, then you can. So, and the way that this thing attaches to the bottom of the quarter mount of the gimbal, or any gimbal, it's actually meant for cameras. So it fits into the bottom of the camera, but I'm using it for this instead. Just rotate that a little bit more, and that's our gear. Camera, little adapter holder thing, so it can go into the phone gimbal. Got an extension rod, got our chat phone, and then there's our tripod feet. Pretty cool. Now if I need to control my stream, I just click on one of these tabs here, and then I can start the stream, go live, cam 1, cam 2, cam 3. I forgot why I added that, but we've got that as an option. We've got cam 1 plus 2, which is what we're on now. But that's been automatically handled for us by Loopy SRT at the moment. So I guess I'd only need that if I was using no Alps. I could press that button. Then we've got screen sharing doodad, which I'm not currently using at the moment. We've got slides and various other buttons to start or end the stream like so. Alright, so good. And then every now and again I'll click over to the Twitch tab, check out the preview, see how things are going. All good? All good in the hood, guys? Okay, now, so let's see, let's talk about the gimbal. We'll start off with the OM6. I'll grab that out of my pocket. And yeah, I just need to grab it against all the other little bits and bobs. See? So this right here, this is the DJi Osmo Mobile 6. It's not the 7 or the 7P. I don't have either of those to show you guys today, but maybe in the future. We'll see, we'll see. So this one here, as you can see, there's no feet that come out of the bottom. You had to carry one of these around with you. Now, that was fine, but it was also kind of annoying, and you could potentially lose the feet. So now that they've added feet into it, I've heard they're not exactly comfortable to hold, like as if you had this attached, you could hold this bottom bit. But it's something, right? And with the feet in like this, I can't really have that in my bag, it won't fit. I do have to unscrew and then put both parts or 3 parts into my bag. So the changes they did, I like those, it's great. That's something that the Hohem iSteady V3 has. It's got feet in the bottom of it, but I always have kind of like feet like this instead. But I do like the extra length of having this, something like this at the bottom to hold the gimbal like that. Okay. So the feet on this are really long, but this is really, really super stable. See? Now, one of my critiques of the old OM6, this one here, was the battery life. Now, I tried a live stream using this gimbal at an event we have here called, am I in frame? Trying to turn on the tracker. Not that way. Wait. I think we're in frame now. We good? We good? Okay, alright. So back over here. Just checking everything. Yeah, so one of my critiques of this gimbal was the battery life. At that event called Armageddon Expo, it's sort of an all-day thing. They really need a battery bank that'll last about 10 hours, ideally. That's always the upper limit that they give you. So if they say it will last 6 hours, it's going to be less than that, because you add on the weight of your camera, maybe if you've got a lens on it or various other things, then it's going to affect the battery. So I found with this one, which was rated at about 6 hours of battery life, the OM6, it would just get me through, I think it was 3.5, 4 hours of that event that I went to. So, and during that time I had it plugged in. So yeah, there was times when I'd sit down, grab a bite to eat, I'd plug in a battery, so give it a top up, unplug, and then would go do some more stuff. So even with doing that, it still ran out. And the problem with these is, you know, once the battery runs out, they go all floppy. You really can't use them. And this model in particular was really bad. There was a couple of times, like for example, when we came back from a dog day out event in Newmarket, in the North Shore, ran out of juice, and it was super floppy. It was floppy as. And because I was on a boat coming back from the North Shore, and it was really hard for me to maintain some kind of balance with it. So one thing that none of them have at the moment that I'd like to see is a lock mode, a way that you can use it like a selfie stick. So let's say it does run out of battery juice, just lock all the moving bits so that you can just use it like a selfie stick, right? That's something I'd like to see them do, and no one has done it yet. I think that the Hohem iSteady M7 can lock its parts, but I don't have one, so I don't know if that's kind of use you can have for it, or storage thing. But yeah, after my experience of using these, that's one thing I'd like to see come to them. This part here, this magnetic phone holder, I think it was introduced in the M6. I'm personally not a fan of these. I'm just way too paranoid for my own good. I always feel like if someone dodgy, someone suspect, could just run past and grab your phone, it would be really easy to do that, because that magnet isn't all that strong. Just a light tug and it'll come off. And there was one time I was sort of holding my phone rather loosely, like this, by my side, with it in this phone holder, and it came off. It was sliding down the road. Not good. Fortunately, my phone was okay. But I prefer something that's fixed like this one, rather than this whole magnetic thing. But I've got a feeling, given MagSafe and technologies like that, there's going to be more of that happening. More devices are going to have not even a phone holder, I reckon. The phone will just attach to the back of the gimbal like this. The new gimbal is yes, well, I think so. That's one of the criteria on my list for a phone, is I want it to be dark grey or black. This light grey or white colour is a big no-no for me personally. That's a subjective thing. So one little critique I have of the Insta360 gimbals is they're all white. They don't make a black gimbal. But I love what they're doing. They've got a technology, a new thing that they'll introduce into gimbals that the other guys aren't doing. So I'm sort of keeping an eye on them, on the Insta360 guys, because you know, things like their infinite pan that they can do, these gimbals can't do that. Not even the newer OM7P. Not even that can do it. Yeah, that grey, I don't know. It's okay, it's fine, I don't mind it. But this one for sure is definitely more my style. And in fact, I think DJi should make everything the same colour as the mic mini. So that mic is quite a dark colour. I don't have the receiver on me. But yeah, I don't know the colour of the new one. The OM7 and no, actually the OM7P is a dark colour, whereas I think the OM7, they got two new gimbals now. That is I think it's a light colour, or it could be like a grey or white colour. And so that I haven't put in my ranking system. I've just skipped the 7 for the 7P. 7 is in the midst. Yes. Okay. Alright, what else have we got this? So battery life, they needed to improve. Love extension rod. DJi were the only guys who had an extension rod in their gimbal. And then I think everyone else started having it as well. So the Hohem that had it, and then they added in the external AI tracker, which I think they've had for lots of their gimbals. The M6, the M7, iSteady V3. Yeah, they had this type of tracker, which is perfect. I love this because, oh, we'll get to my favorite gimbal. We will. I need to go through my ranking system and just sort of ranting a little bit about my thoughts about these two things, especially the older M6. OM6. Let's see. Stabilization, I think, is probably better than this one here, the Hohem. I need a shorter names for these. So the V3 and the 6. Maybe we'll go with that. So the 6 stabilization, I think, was a bit better versus the V3. So just with my testing going back and forth between the two. But it wasn't like massively better. Just like a little smidge better. One thing, when you unfold the gimbals, this one turns on straight away, whereas the V3 doesn't. Now, I suppose that's a personal thing, which one you prefer, but I always found it kind of annoying, at least for me, that this would just turn on and be ready to go. Now, that could be a good thing, but I always found, like, if I knocked it and accidentally, which happened when I was in like the box back home, it would just turn on. I'd go, oh, no, don't do that. Or if I just wanted to play around with it, but not necessarily have it on, it's just always ready to go. Whereas this one, you can unfold it, you can line things up, like line this here and that and this and this, and then when you're ready, you can turn it on, which I personally preferred that. Whereas this, you know, once you unfold it, it wants to go straight away, even if you haven't attached your phone to this properly, you know. So that's a personal thing, I think. The newer version of this, it can charge your phone, although I think it's through this port. They don't have a port that's on the phone holder, like up here, closer to where the phone would be. Now that's what I think they should all be doing. I think the M series of Hohem gimbals, they have a port up here. You can just plug in your phone, plug in like your action camera like this, but the V3 doesn't have a way to charge your phone. Gee, can that port charge your phone? I don't think it can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a cable on me to test it out. This one apparently can't. Whereas the new one, the 7 can, or the 7P. Anything else to add? Let's see. Stabilization. They both fold up real small. I think the size isn't too different. In fact, if you had this, which is the 6, and the 7P beside each other, they don't look all that different. Okay. Should we put this away? I think so. I'm just going to end streaming on the iPhone, and we'll go back to Cam 1, which is the action camera. Give it a second. Check it preview. Seven looks like a what? You mean the new DJi 7? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I need my spreadsheet. I've got that right here. Let's talk over ranking. I've given them scores too. So put that one away. Okay, I have what I call an IRL checklist. There is a section for microphones, and which we've covered. I've added a new one for gimbals. So this is completely flawless, error-free. Now it's very much a work in progress, so I'm sure there'll be things that we'll add and remove from the list. So let's see, in my criteria of the perfect smartphone gimbal, I have the color needs to be a black or grey, dark grey. It needs to be able to fold into a pocket or small bag, no separate carry case, which is the case for the M7, the Hohem M7, which is a shame. I want the M7 in a smaller package, the V3 shape. Payloads, I've got here up to 200 kilograms, up to 300 kilograms, which is most smartphone gimbals like this one, and up to 400 kilograms. Now that would be ideal. I think if they could just bump up the payload weight, it would be so much better for these type of gimbals. That way you could have like a lens on there, a selfie lens that's wider, just attach it to the front of the phone, or let's see what else, a mic. You could put all these other accessories onto the phone, and the gimbal would be much better. I think it would be a lot more stable as well if it could handle a bit more weight. Extension rod, I think that's one of the things I really loved about the OM6. And then when the Hohem V3 came out, I was like, wow, okay, that sort of goes next level on a few things that the 6 didn't have. 9+ hour battery life, so that is a must. So yeah, biggest critique I had with the 6. I've got infinite pan tracking, which is what the Insta360 can do. So it is a little disappointing when, like for example, for this phone, I can't do like a full 360 around it, the gimbal I mean. So let's see, we'll try and turn on the tracking and move a little bit. Actually, let's try it. So let's see how far we can go if we move this direction. So it's going to max out, yeah, so it's maxed out there. And then if we keep going this way. Okay, alright. Oh. Still going. Yeah? Right. Right. Oh, yeah. Wow. Keep going right around this way. Yeah, so it kind of stops around this way. You can't really move that way. But you can almost go right around it. So you always have to move left rather than right. Yes, okay, back to the thingy. Pretty smooth. So infinite pan is where you can just keep going around and around and around like the 360 can do. So I'm hoping that all these gimbals are going to be able to do that, maybe in their next version. Next, I have self-contained tripod feet. Fantastic feature that the V3 introduced, I think. So we're seeing that in gimbals now, like the 7P. Actually, I'm not sure if the Insta360 had it first, but let's call it a draw on those two. Got a 1/4-inch socket in the bottom, which is, I think that's fairly standard, but I'll just have that there. We've got no magnetic phone holder, so it's more secure. So yeah, I hope either DJi does more with it, or or they just get rid of it, because I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. But it's just me and my paranoia for you. Got continuous phone power USB port to charge the phone by the phone holder. So what DJi have done, I think I gave them a half mark, because they've got the port on the handle, which is I think the same port that you use to charge the gimbal, but I really want one up by the phone. That way you don't have to worry about a cable tugging at the phone. Now with this setup, I think it's better when the phone is vertical. You don't really have that tugging action happening when it's in landscape mode, because the phone's just sort of hanging out the side. When it's vertical, the cable is just going straight up. but the kind of content I do, everything is horizontal. And the great thing about this little adapter thing is I've got the camera in a vertical mode even though the footage is horizontal. Let's have a quick look at the battery over here. So this action cam can do about 2.5 hours ish. I need to swipe up a little bit slower. We'll have a look. We're at 50%. Might need to plug in. So I've got my good old magnetic cables. They work for everything, basically. So let's pop my bag up there, and then I'm going to plug in the cable into the side. I don't think it affects the audio. So I'll just talk 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Did it affect the audio at all? Now I'll take a photo of this gear. So lots of photos of the gear today. So everybody smile. I have a good old 20,000 mAh battery in my bag. So ProMate, good old ProMate. A couple of their battery banks. They've been okay so far, no issues. So when it comes through, you should be able to see the charging cable in the side. So it's very quick and easy for me to just plug that in and out. In and out. Maybe I should do another thingy. Yeah, I need more footage. Do another multi-cam thing. Alright, should switch to cam 1+2. Alright, good old Loopy SRT did that for us. Oh, light shower. That's not good. Okay. So in here, I got my battery bank. Let's open it up. So battery bank in there. We're plugged into the USB-A port, so it won't be as fast as the USB-C. So the USB-C I'm using for my iPhone, the white cable, so it'll charge it faster. In here we've got some ND filters for the DJi. So you might be able to see it there on the front. Whoopsie. Hey, down here. Right. 1, 2. Okay, so I've got battery bank in my little bag here, and then charging cable on the side. So if I did need to use that or unplug it, unplugged. If I need to charge up the action camera, plug it back in again. Nice, quick and easy, keeps things really small. Although for this setup, I still would prefer if that was a battery bank. So if that was a battery bank down there, a short cable could go from there into the action camera, and you could add maybe another 4-6 hours of battery life onto that. Whereas let's say we're getting 2 hours out of the Action 4 now with its own internal battery. It's very easy to forget when you're plugged in, or your battery, when you don't have like an external battery plugged in. But if you have something like, I think it is 1700 milliamp mAh battery, so let's say 6,000 or maybe even 10,000. I don't know how much weight you'd need for this. So batteries aren't all that heavy. Or if you still have like a weighted bit in there. But yeah, 5,000 should give you heaps of battery life for this, right? And you just have a really short cable from here down to the battery bank, and then you could just go, keep on going like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah? Alright, so it'll be great if our friend Matt or one of our our 3D printing friends could make something like that, but I don't know. But yeah, see that? Just go there, straight into the battery bank. Poof. No loose cables. And then this gimbal and the 7P, they have pretty long battery life on their own, you know, 9+ hours. Okay, right, distractions aside, let's get back to our thing. Back to our list. So we've got continuous phone power USB port to charge the phone by the phone holder. Let's check out, I hear music play. Oh, good. Hopefully we're okay. And once I've gone through our ranking, go for a little walk. Let's see. Next item, I got AI face tracking in any app. Some of these gimbals we're tracking, they work in supported apps. They're not completely global. I think, no, I'm just trying to remember which one was it. Was it the Insta360? Yeah, it has face tracking, but it's in supported apps. Whereas the way that the V3 and the 7P, well, let's say 7P because it comes with the little AI tracking. It can work in any app. And the DJi actually comes with additional features like group tracking if you use the app as well. Next item was single and group selection. So that's one thing, issue I suppose with the V3 is that it doesn't have any kind of group selection from what I've seen. Although for me as a live streamer or solo live streamer, it's not really all that important. So I don't personally need it, but it's one of those things that could be handy, could be useful, depending on your use case. Next item, fill light. So both the V3 and the 7P, they come with a fill light, whereas the Flow 2, I think it was an extra add-on, or they may now be including it. So I'm not too sure about that. I think it's a new thing for them. That attaches to the side, I think into the phone or into the gimbal somewhere. But it's a bit rough. Yeah. We've got a fill light that rotates either front or the selfie. The front selfie or to the back camera. So with this one you can actually rotate the AI tracking to the back or the front. You just unclip it. I'll try and do that now. So I can detach the AI tracker and the fill light, and I can either have it facing me or facing in the other direction. So that it's really nice to have. Although I wish it was actually fixed to the gimbal because it's really quite loose and I feel like I could lose that. So rather than it being loose like it is now, if it was just fixed there and you just turn it left, back like that. I believe the older one did that. So was it the V2, maybe the M6? Yeah, I don't see a reason for why you'd need it to be separate from the gimbal. We've got moving parts can be locked, selfie stick mode. So I mentioned that earlier, and that's where, let's say your gimbal has run out of juice, you had the AI tracking, fill light, everything on, and then rather than being the 9 hours that it would have lasted, it would right down to 3 hours or whatever. So it'd be good if you could just lock all those parts and then keep using the gimbal rather than having to carry a separate selfie stick with you, which is what you would need if they ran out of juice, you know. So selfie stick mode, I'm waiting for that one. Also remote control, whether there be Apple Watch or Bluetooth remote like what this one has. So this is actually a pretty cool feature that I haven't really used, but one of the things you can do is you can turn on the fill light remotely. So I could be here and then I could turn on the fill light. So I'm going to turn it on now, but so it's on, but I don't think you can see much difference but it's too bright. Perhaps I will do the dual cam thing again. Okay, dual cam. See, so we will press and hold, and they'll turn the fill light off. Press and hold, fill light back on. Yeah, pretty cool. And you could also control. Maybe this should be the reverse. So you can remotely control the gimbal with this. I need to figure out is how do I do a complete spin. There must be a shortcut on this remote control, but there's too many buttons and things to remember. Cool. All right. How are we on battery over here? So this is on 64% battery, and I plug that in. It is quite warm. Oh, that's right. Still need to go through our list. Alright, are you ready? So, let's go over to the OM6. So, I've gone through all those items of what I'm looking for. Ultimate has all the features, gimbal. The OM6, which I demonstrated earlier, I gave it a score of 29%. Now, I don't know if we'll ever get a gimbal that'll have everything, and that's kind of the goal of this. Is we want all the features for cheap. We want them to put all the things in, all of them. So I mentioned payload. Are they going to release a gimbal like this one, which will have payload of just under 400 grams? They might leave that for the higher end model, those more robust ones. But you know, that's a wish. You know, we would like to have that in there, so more points go to a gimbal that can do that. I think it's feasible. They could, but will they? I'm not sure. And of course, there are things that I don't know about, like the pricing on this. Is it even possible to make it affordable without blowing the budget? There are things like the being foldable. It's going to be universal, I think, for this class of gimbals. But a couple of things like the color, that's subjective again. So being a really dark black color, I suppose they kind of want to be able to stand out and show that theirs is different. So maybe going the white color route is a deliberate choice by Insta360. That's why they won't go for a dark color, because it'll look too much like the others. So there are other reasons for why the companies will do this or that. But yeah, I want my dark or grey colored gear, please. DJ style, how's it going? The M7 has a payload of 500 grams. Exactly, I know, right? So, isn't that too much to ask? We don't want 500 grams or 600 grams. Just want a measly 400. Most of these ones, I think they fall just under the 300 gram mark. So they do get a score of 2 out of 3. 360 unlimited rotation. The M7 as well? Okay. That's cool. I haven't put it in with this list because I felt like that was the next class up from what we're looking at. Good to see it too. Good to see. So yeah, the gear I'm looking at is something that's small and portable, light and stealthy. Won't attract too much attention. Whereas the M7, is quite a bit of a beast that you'll be carrying around with you. I have thought about using one though, getting one and using it, because some of the features it has, like, oh, that would be really nice, because it has that charging port by the phone. So the M6 has that as well. So it's like, ooh, I really want that. Yes. But yeah, these are just small, compact, so the ultra compact range of gimbals that I've ranked in here. All right, so where were we? OM6. So this is the older one, and there is a bump up from that with the new OM7P. Then we've got things like the 9-hour battery it didn't have for the OM6, infinite pan, what do they call it? Infinite pan tracking? Yeah, so they didn't have that either. Self-contained feet, they didn't have, so they've learned from like each version and they've added things in from what, you know, the previous model. They've looked at their competition, saw that they were doing as well, and they go, oh, let's add this and let's add that. The 1/4" mount, I think they all have that. The magnetic phone holder, that's a DJi thing. They seem committed to it. So that's a markdown for me. That's a personal thing, I think. Continuous phone power. Yeah, so we covered all those items. So the OM6 got a 29%. The, let's see, Insta360. Huh? Okay. Well, that's newer. Let's go OM6 V3 Insta360 Flow 2 Pro and then the OM7. So we'll go up from when they were released. Okay, so OM6 29%. Hohem iSteady V3, I've given it 70%. I do have some bias though, and we are using it today. But it ticks a lot of those boxes, you know. So it is a dark grey colour, it is foldable, it does a payload of up to 300 grams, so they got 2 points like the others did. It has the extension rod, 9+ hours of battery. We don't have an infinite pan tracking. Self-contained feet it has. I don't really like them, they look really quite flimsy to me, but it's got them. It's got the 1/4" mount in the bottom. There's no phone, magnetic phone holder, so that's a plus for me. It has the wait a minute, continuous phone power USB port by the phone holder. I have to get that under 0. Why do I have a 1 under there? Okay, quick adjustment, on the fly adjustment. Oops, not 10, 1. My bias is showing. Alright, that's better. So 0 on the continuous power by the phone holder. So I had to adjust that. AI face tracking. So it does have that, but it's for solo. I haven't given it a point for solo and group selection. Has a fill light. The fill light rotates back and front. Moving parts can be locked, so none of them score a point for that. I'm hoping that will come, maybe in the next versions. And then it does have a remote control. So it has 68%. We didn't get to 69, I'm afraid. So still good score. None of these have 100%, by the way. And I may need to make some adjustments. So we've got 29% for the OM6, 68% for the iSteady V3. Now if we go to the newer model, which is the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. Now what I've got here, it isn't a dark grey colour, it is very white, so that is 0. It is foldable, it can handle payloads up to 300 grams, extension rod, yes. 9+ hour batteries, I've got there's yes. Infinite pan tracking, so yes, that is a yes. So they introduced that. Brilliant idea. Why don't they all have that? Self-contained feet, which are okay, but I'm going to score. 1/4" mount on the bottom, no phone holder, continuous power USB port by the phone holder. So I've given it a 0.5. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's got one, because I believe the previous model had it as well. I don't have one, so I can't sort of verify that. And I've been checking YouTube videos and such. So I've given it half a point, it could go to a full point. So I've given it a 0.5 on AI face tracking because it's not in any app. It only up to, I think, 200 supported apps. We want it to work in everything, like our live streaming apps. Then it does do group and single selection, face tracking. No fill light, although I might need to adjust that to a 0.5 because I believe now it is a option. You can get it separately. so I'll need further info on that. The full light rotates, that I don't know, not sure. It looks like you can just unplug and then plug it in the other direction, so I will need clarification on that as well. So I've given that a half point. It can't lock all the moving parts, and it has a remote control. I think it works by the Apple app. You can control it that way. Apple Watch. So the Flow 2 Pro, I've given it 68%. So it is on par with the Hohem iSteady V3. Now my personal bias is that it should lose a point because of the color. It should lose more points. The color is what really gets me. They need a black version. Not gunmetal, but what is it? What's the word? A matte black with some accents of shiny black in there. That is like bonus 1 million points. Alright, and we're going to go right over to the OM7P. I haven't included the 7 in this because they took away too many things. So they took away the extension rod. I think they should have kept that in. And there's no tracking. It's kind of like not really a downgrade from the 6. It's kind of like a side grade. So it does some things like the extra battery life that the OM6 didn't have. It's got their 9+ hours, but you're taking away the extension rod, which is one of my favorite things about the OM6, why I got it. There's no tracking in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me. I haven't quite sussed out why they've segmented it. Why have the two? I'm sure there's a reason in there. I'm sure there's. Okay, so I've given the 7P currently, could be revised, a score of 49%. So it's up from the OM6, which was 29%, and at the moment it's 49%. This could also be revised, you know, find out that it does have some things that I wasn't aware of. But let's see, go over it, foldable, it can do up to 300 grams, it has the extension rod, it's got 9+ hours of battery, which the 6 didn't have. It doesn't have the infinite pen tracking, which would be great if these did have that in their next versions. Self-contained feet, they look pretty good. They look a lot better than the iSteady V3. We've got the 1/4-inch mount at the bottom, fat magnetic phone holder, so yeah, had to give it a 0 on that one. They've continued that idea. I think they really need to do more with it. Like, I think if you're going to have a phone holder, you should at least have a selfie stick, which it can attach to. So let's say you do run out of battery, you've used up the 7P's battery because you had the fill light, you had the face tracking on, you had all the things, ran out of battery. If you had like a selfie stick in your bag, then you could unlatch their phone from the gimbal and then attach it to the selfie stick. Bam. So they could have like a separate add-on, and you just carry their little selfie stick mini one in your bag just in case. Yeah, so they need to do more things with that magnetic mount thing than at the moment. There could be more accessories to sell, you know, just saying. And I thought that they were going to do that with the OM6, but it didn't seem to go very far. Like now you can buy the AI tracking as an add-on for the 7, but what else is there? For the 6 there was a fill light you could get for that. Yeah, more accessories, guys. Let's see, going on, so they've kept the magnetic phone holder. I've given continuous phone charging 0.25 because so you can charge it from the USB port, but I'm sure it's the same one you use to charge the gimbal, and ideally what you want to do is have some pass-through charging so you can charge the gimbal and also charge the phone through the gimbal. That's why I want them to have that sort of separate USB port by the phone, you know. So 0.25. Given AI face tracking, let's check that, in any app is 0. I'm actually sure that it is any app. Maybe I need to revise that. Okay, let's revise that. On the fly editing. Face tracking group or solo selection, so that should be updated as well. I've got that as 0. So let's give that a 1. Fill light, I've given it a 0.5. It should be a 1. So I think I filled this out when I didn't have all the specs. So it was based on the rumored specs. Okay, so it does have a fill light, the 7P, because that AI tracker module thing comes with it. Then the fill light rotates front or back. I'm not sure. So maybe we'll give that one a 0.5. We would need clarification on that too. And then moving parts for selfie stick mode, that is a definite no. So none of them do that. And then a remote control or Apple Watch functionality. So it does have. All right, revised score, we're up to 64%. So let's go back over our ranking. We have the OM6 older model from, I think 4 years ago, 29%. We have the OM7, 64%. We've got the iSteady V3 and Flow 2 Pro. What's the word? Tied in first place with 68%. I think there can be some adjustments though, especially with the Flow 2 Pro, because I don't have one. I'll need someone to sort of confirm some details there for us. But yeah, so the big question marks is the continuous phone power USB port to charge the phone by the phone holder. I've got that at half a point. We've got the AI face tracking in any app. I've got it in half a point. So let's say in particular we would want it to work in Mobile, IRL Pro, Lyrics Broadcaster, Streamcaster Pro, Streamcast Pro, Streamcaster, so all those apps that we use. All of them. And then we could get that a 1 rather than a 0.5. The fill light, need some info on that too. So at 0.5 and fill light rotates. So that could jump up quite a lot. Thing is, my favorite out of these currently is the V3. I like the color, I love the features that it has, it lasts a long time, this is great, the face tracking that it has is awesome. I think the face tracking could be a little bit better, so that would be good. I've seen some comparisons where, the music. I'll try and speak closer to the mic to try and help us not get into trouble with the YouTube guys, but I'm thinking we're in trouble. Might have to mute, guys. Alright, let's mute. Muting. Oh shucks, wrong button. Mute. You guys hear that? I'm thinking you can. Oh no! I have to mute this whole section. Alright, are we good? Are we okay? Whew. I'm thinking we call all their music. That whole section is going to have to be muted. Fingers crossed. Right, where were we? I think we basically covered everything we wanted to about the new gimbal. So just announced this week. Oh, I can still hear that music. I've got noise reduction on. I'm hoping that that's done a little bit for us. Playing old Mickey. I want the Mickey, oh Mickey. Alright, so just to go over the gear that we're using today. We have the DJi Osmo Action 4. That is our camera. We've got on the gimbal, which is the Hohem iSteady V3. Got a little adapter thing here for us to be able to use the action camera on the gimbal. What I like about this setup is that, well, we've got that base tracking, which I demonstrated before, but we've also got the fill light and stabilization. Oh, I mentioned I have ND filters on here. Something you might not have noticed is our frame rate and our shutter speed. We're using something a little more cinematic today. Feel like it's going to rain. Yeah, so from the details you might be able to see that our let's see, let's grab a seat in here. Very good. Whoa. Oh, okay. I think we need something a little more sheltered. I think it's going to full on pour down any second now. Yeah, we've got like proper rain. Now, the gimbal is not really waterproof. It's okay. The action is, but I have removed the door, which keeps the battery or the charging part of it waterproof, in order to do the magnetic charging thing. I'm hoping into here. No, we're not okay. In this one spot we're alright. Sheltered just here. Checking out preview. So thinking, whoop, we need to change our ND filter. Yes, so our frame rate is 25 frames, which is rather than 30. And then our shutter speed is at 50. 1/50th of a second. So ND filter off. That is a ND16. Then I could put a circular polarizing filter on, just because of how cloudy and dark it is. Oh no! there's some drips on the filter, but we actually have a thingy on there. A plastic on there. Good old thingies. Now how are we looking? We're looking okay? Notice the difference of the sky? Oh, got a yellow light on the gimbal. It can't be right. So I've turned the AI tracker off. Don't really need it. It's weather. Got it awkward. You know, it's sunny 1 second and then can't really tell what this is. Maybe I need an ND8 on there instead. So it still looks kind of bright. Yeah, so with the ND filters, what that gives us is that they're more cinematic frame rate, because by default gimbals or action cameras need a frame rate of at least 1/200th of a second in order for their electronic stabilization to work. But when you have a frame rate that high, you get a very jittery look when you move around. So especially if you pan this way, you might be able to see that jitteriness. But when you've got an ND filter, it's like sunglasses for your camera, you can reduce that shutter speed down to 1/50th of a second, and that way you get a little more motion blur. So if you were to pause a stream when I do one of these spinny things with the gimbal, you should see motion blur rather than a still frame. So if you were to go back to one of my other streams where I use the gimbal and I do the spinny thing, if you pause on a frame where there's a lot of movement, it's actually very still. Whereas we should see more of that movement or blur, motion blur. So let's try that. You ready to pause? All right. 1, 2, 3. Motion blur. 1, 2, 3. Motion blur. I think there is still some jitteriness, and I'm not sure what that could be. I have some stabilization on. So I've got that horizon balancing mode. So perhaps that's it. Or because I've tried this without stabilization on at all, and I still saw that jitteriness. The gimbal is supposed to compensate. Okay, let's go for a walk, and then I think we're pretty good for today. Yeah, we've covered everything I wanted to, so we've had a good chat, a bit of a yarn about the gimbals. Will I get one? I don't think so. Like, what I feel the DJi have done is they seem to have saw what Hohem did and then added in some of the top features of the, let's say, V3 into the OM7P. And there doesn't seem to be enough there for me to go, okay, this is my next gimbal. Like what happened when I got the OM6, and then a month later, I think, I got the Hohem iSteady V3. Because it did what the OM6 did, but then so much more. Extra battery life, the tracking, had all these features that the OM6 didn't have, whereas the 7P has the great AI tracking. It can do the group tracking, and that's cool, but I don't really need that. Yeah, there's not really enough there for me to run out and get one, but I don't know, we'll see. I suppose maybe if you don't have a gimbal and you're wanting to do some of what I do, then maybe it could be a good purchase. But I'm still internalizing, processing my thoughts on the differences. So it might take me a little while for me to go, you know what, I can see an audience for this. This is perfect for these people. Or maybe with looking through the specs, I might go, oh, actually, it can do more than I initially thought. All right, let's go for a little walk. Any questions, please do pop those in chat. Also, a quick reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, either as a live or as a video later on, please give this a like, leave a comment, especially if you have any questions about all the gimbals, what I'm currently using. Share the live as well, that would be awesome. Do all that good stuff. Subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube, those would be appreciated. And let's go for a walk. And get any water on the lens? Probably. Welcome to Auckland, everyone. Yeah, I think for this setup I just have to use RTMP. No bonding, a bit risky. If I need bonding, that's where I'll just switch back to a phone. Yeah. Okay, wind's blowing towards me, so I'm gonna flip it back around. There's water droplets on the lens. Sorry about that. I really do like how wide it is versus my phone. And some, I don't know, weight wise, not all that different. I suppose it's because I have the phone on, there's a chat phone down here. Oh, that's why I turned it off. I was going to turn the tracking on. No can do. I think one of the reasons why I can stream with RTMP, Auckland has a fairly small population compared to cities with 6 to 9 million. It's going to help. Less people, less interference. Also, I'm streaming with 5G, so that might help. I don't think I could do this with my iPhone. Pretty sure we would have glitched out a couple of times. Hey, the Popo's here. I know what's going on. Troublemakers, maybe. One, two, three. So the party boat's over. Had their fun on the water. Oh, is this a new group? Yeah. Can you see the water droplets on the lens? Okay, I think we'll wrap things up there, folks. Let's get the outro underway. Oops. Music over here. Try and avoid the music. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. The chat about Gimbal's new DJi Osmo Mobile 7P. Will you be buying one? Do you agree with my ranking, or perhaps I got it wrong? Which I probably did. Oops, it is. Yeah, I love your thoughts, love your feedback. Pop those into the comments. Check out the YouTube videos. Got new ones on the channel. New Instagram posts, 2 of those. Quite a bit of content out there actually. Yeah. Please do all the things. Alright. Let's just walk on out, folks. Take care.